Great Debaters Contest is powered by Blaze, by Safaricom, the Youth Network.
Welcome to the Great Debaters Contest. Today we continue our conversation on the Sustainable Development Goals here in Nakuru. I am Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Yombok. Today we have Gatimu mixed versus Goshen boys, and the motion is use of contraceptives is the only proper way of preventing teenage pregnancy. Mariam? The audience is rallied up already.
The audience will love this one. We'll let the debaters take the floor. Proposal number 1, you have 3 minutes.
I'm Mary Christine for Gatimu Mixed, and I'm here to strongly propose the motion that says the use of contraceptives is the proper way of preventing teenage pregnancy. Do you agree? Do you agree? No. Firstly, what are contraceptives? Contraceptives is the mechanism or a means by which conception as a result of sexual intercourse can be prevented or made less likely. First of all, I want to mention some examples of contraceptives. We have the condoms, we have the pills, we have the intrauterine devices such as the coils and the diaphragms. Now, a research done by the Center of Disease Control and Prevention stated that on 20th January 2012, it stated that over 400,000 teens aged between the age of 15 and 19 give birth every year in America. Now, I want to give my first point. I'm proposing because use of contraceptives, it minimizes school dropouts. Look at it. When a young girl conceives, what do you expect? Obviously, you expect her to drop out of school, isn't it? This is very sad indeed, because she does not get to complete her studies. She can't acquire her dreams. Now, to relieve this shame from the parents, what do you expect? Of course, you expect her to get married. That's increasing early marriages. Look at it from this perspective. This is a small child with another small child. How is it? The use of contraceptives is the only proper way to curb teenage pregnancy. Imagine a small child with another small child. How is it? How is it? Very bad. What kind of a generation is it? Very bad indeed. Thank you.
Now may we have the first opposer.
I'm Clement Mwangi from Goshen Boys High School. Firmly opposing this motion that states that contraceptives are the only proper way of preventing teenage pregnancies. Do you all agree with that? Let's first start by understanding the motion, because I see my friends here can't understand the motion. What is a contraceptive? Contraceptive is a drug or a device that prevents a lady from becoming pregnant. Who is a teenager? A teenager is a person aged between 13 to 19 years of age. In other words, an adolescent. What is pregnancy? It is a progression of stages from conception to birth. On to my first point, encouraging of abstinence. What is abstinence? Is when a person decides not to have sex until he or she is married. Abstinence from sex is the only behavior that is 100% effective on preventing teenage pregnancies. In fact, the national campaign stresses that abstinence from sex is the best choice for a teen to avoid early pregnancies, parenthood, and also spread of STIs. On to my second point, delayed sex. Many people feel that they cannot wait until they are married to have sex. So what do they do? What do they do? The answer is delayed sex. This delayed sex, these people wait. Instead of using these contraceptives, which have effects, they wait until that time when they have a job, they are responsible, or even older. Let's take this point, for instance. In traditional African societies, our forefathers and our grandfathers never used these contraceptives. Yet, there were minimum cases of teenage pregnancies. Why? Because they knew that abstinence was the best way to prevent teenage pregnancies. Do you all agree with that? Do you all agree with that? Let's not hear the lies from our sisters and brothers from the other side. There's no way you're going to tell us that contraceptives are the only proper way. So, please, my brothers and sisters, sit down and think about this motion. Thank you.
It's time for rebuttals. May we have the second proposer take the stage?
Thank you very much from my opponent. You just said that abstinence we can also use abstinence as the only way to prevent teenage pregnancies. As we all know, we are moving from analog to digital, and we can't bury our heads deep down in the sand and watch these things happen. We know they happen around us in schools. We can't, for instance, a girl being raped. Take it this way. This girl was raped using a contraceptive, and the other one without. This girl is a student. We get this happening where most of the teachers, we have teachers in here. You visit Form 1 classes, you ask them, when you grow up, what would you like to be? Because they are the leaders of tomorrow. You hear others saying pilots, teachers, engineers, and doctors. But this girl who has been raped ends up being a patient in an hospital because of delivering the child. Please, let's look at this very carefully. My name is Brian Masuo from Gatimu Mixed Secondary School, and I'm here to strongly propose this motion that says the use of contraceptive is the proper way to prevent teenage pregnancy. The use of contraceptives has highly helped in reducing the number of population in a country, helping the population to sustain its, or to manage its population and to divide the resources in the country. I would like to say this. We look at countries like Nigeria having a higher population. Countries like Nigeria and other countries, you can name them. Then let's come. You have India. Look at the population, the economical status. Let's go to the Eastern Europe countries. Netherlands, Switzerland, name them. Look at the economic status, the way it is. Very much different from these countries. We have been hearing about the debating of introducing sex education in schools. Why are they doing this? Because they know we can't use abstinence because that has been a song being sung, not only in schools, churches, but even nationwide about abstinence, and we know it has not worked. The use of contraceptives can also help. For example, in gynecological health, we've got contraceptives, for example, the pregnancy pills. When taken carefully or in a good manner, will help one person or the other to gain weight, instead of using junk foods to gain weight, which are harmful for our health. Please, let's look at it very carefully. The use of contraceptives has also helped in the decrease in the transmission of sexually infected diseases. We see the use of contraceptives and it will help in sustaining a country's economic status. Thank you.
May we have the second opposer take the stage?
Hi, I'm Gavin Salman Kim, representing Goshen Boys High School. I'm here opposing the motion, use of contraceptives is the only proper way to prevent teenage pregnancy. I would like to start by correcting my opponents. They're saying stuff about analog. Okay, the analog people also wore shoes. Why not barefoot? First of all, I would like to say this is not the only proper way. I repeat, not the only proper way to prevent teenage pregnancy. Why are you subjecting our girls to the use of contraceptives when you know very well that it has harmful side effects like causing infertility? There are other better methods, such as communication, for one. Through having sex talks, our teenage girls have got ears. If only parents can sit down and talk with their children and advise them on why and when people have sex, it will prevent teenage pregnancies, don't you think? They should stop making the question of the birds and the bees a taboo subject. In fact, they should speak it openly. Talking about sex to your child doesn't mean you are encouraging them to have sex. It means you're being smart. Religious and learning institutions and society at large should be teaching the teenagers on the consequences of teenage pregnancies. Let's make talking about teenage sex a part of everyday life, not just a one-off talk. Parents should find out what education they are getting in school about sex and relationships. It will really help. Support your teenagers as they deal with the emotions of a first intimate relationship. That's how you do it, not giving them contraceptives anyhow. A quote from a modern philosopher and a poet, J. Cole. He says, "I'm tired of inviting demons into my house because they keep on inviting more." Encouraging them to use contraceptives is what we're calling demons. Doing this is encouraging them to have sex. Sexual immorality. People, can't you see it? We're encouraging them to go ahead and practice sexual immorality. What's next? Prostitution among teens and children? Masturbation? No, that's not the way. And so on and so forth. Is that really what you want to happen?
Thank you very much. The proposers have been asked to expound more on the link between contraceptives and weight gain because they claim that use of contraception does cause weight gain. And the opposition have been asked, sometimes teenagers tend to not listen to advice, which is one of the ways they talk. They gave us an example of how to deal with early pregnancy. So what then should people do when teenagers and young people refuse to listen? Proposer number 3, respond. You have 3 minutes.
I'm Anthony Kagwe from Gatimu Secondary Mixed. I'm hereby going to address to the question posed by that girl over there. I'll say that with the use of contraceptives, you will reduce the risk of getting pregnant. On the other hand, you find that there are the calories, some calories produced by men. A research done by the Harvard Medical School found that 10% of men's sperm contain calories, okay? I've addressed your question. And then, may I ask you a question? How do you teach old dogs new hunting tricks? How do you tell the teens, sexually active teens, to abstain? They have been told this a million times. They have been told each and every time. How do you tell them to abstain? Haven't they been told by their parents? The same parents are the ones taking our girls to hospitals to get injections. They are issuing them with the pregnancy pills, aren't they? Now, how do we manage the problem of teenage pregnancy? I propose that we should indeed introduce sex education in our curriculum activity. But having taken this, we see that advice is always given, but is rarely taken. Do you agree with that? We've seen that I myself, I have ever been given advice, but you go contrary to what you've been told. Is that a positive impact or a negative impact? You keep on giving advice every now and then, does that have a positive impact? It's the high time we embrace change. It's the high time we do what we've never done. The contraceptives have been used in America. The statistics conducted by CDC, Center of Disease and Disease Control and Prevention, have seen that in 100 women, more than 67 have admitted to have ever used contraceptives. And this has drastically reduced the rate of teenage pregnancy. Now, in 2012, the rate was 50%. The rate was about 10. In 10 ladies, there were like 5. Now, there are only 2 of them getting pregnant. Thank you.
Position, you have 3 minutes to respond to the audience.
They say, if you want to be tough, then talk tough. Ladies and gentlemen, representing Goshen Boys High School, call me Abdul Basit Ali Haj. So first of all, I would like to address the question asked by that young lady over there, asking in what merit do we base the argument of girls lying in hospitals who got pregnant over the use of contraceptives. First, that was not actually our argument, but I would like to say that, you see, these contraceptives are made by man. And you see, no man is perfect. Everything man makes has mistakes. It has defects. And you see those contraceptives, which it has to have some defect. She also talked of teenagers who don't listen to their parents. You say that this topic of abstinence and stuff have been talked by parents to these teenagers, but they don't listen. But you see, in the olden days, when abstinence was a virtue and virginity was a pride to every young girl, you will not hear of cases of girls getting pregnant when they are adolescents or when they are teenagers. And that's why we came up with according to the, let's talk facts first. According to the statistics or the information that was carried out by the Standard newspaper in July 2016 by Malton Were, it states that these contraceptives and pills have dire complications. You see, we all do biology here, and you see, the body gets, when you use these pills for a long time, the body develops antigens which rejects these pills. And you see, there will come a time when every young girl here will want to have a family, will want to have children. Am I right, girls? I guess the answer is yes. So, these contraceptives have defects. They may cause barrenness in these girls. And that is what we are trying to avoid. We are trying to avoid as this generation here. And you see, I see so many young ladies in here. I guess all of you have siblings at home. Is that true? I guess the answer is yes. So I would like to urge parents to talk to these teenagers about caring for these babies, so that you'll know the hardship of bearing a children. In that case, you'll never want to have a child when you're a teenager. Remember, if you can't beat them, join them. Thank you.
Closing statements now. Proposition, you have a minute.
I'm not saying that abstinence is a bad thing. But to my colleagues, we are trying to be fair. Let us help these teenage girls complete their studies. Let them achieve their dreams and their goals so that they can get access to the many opportunities that the life offers. Isn't it? We have to, of course we want to go on. We are moving on. This generation is moving. The world we are living in is not in the past. We are moving in new ways. Things are changing. Things are really changing. And we cannot only complain and say only abstinence. Only abstinence. We've tried that over and over again. Thank you very much.
Opposition, you have a minute for your final submission.
Yes, things are changing, and we are the change. The proposers know that contraceptives are not the best way. Do we let our children suffer? Do we let them not have a good future? I'm challenging the youth to practice safe sex by abstaining. We all have seen the dangers of contraceptives, which lead us towards overfull. I wish I knew. Please, my dear friends, our bus is not yet full. You can cross over and join us. Our teenagers have a bright future. We have doctors here. We have nurses here. Yes, lifting up your hand. We have so many people here, even lawyers. But we don't want to ruin your future by using these contraceptives, which will lead you to be infertile or lose even your life. Thank you.
To Goshen boys, are there side effects of these things that are being used? Could you emphasize on that? Could you emphasize on a certain mother who had to use those things, or a girl who had to use those things and is no longer fertile or something like that? Talk about these things, engage our emotions so that people can know that, listen, guys, you need to be careful. What are the success rates then of other contrary methods? To Mary, definitions of terms and examples, that was okay. Simple reasoning, which was good for people to understand. However, when you start saying that things are changing, things are moving on, are you trying to tell us, come on, let's just embrace and start having these things all over? I know it's a debate, all right? But you want to be careful a little so that at least you're more concerned. Brian, you have very good submissions, and that was good. But I want you to be a bit sensitive when you start talking about rape. Let's not just look at it like a casual thing, all right? This one is raped here, and this other one. No, what is that? This is a very sensitive thing, all right? Anthony, good tackling of questions, all right? I love the fact that you managed to sail through, although you appeared a bit as if you had some rock and some hard stuff that was coming out of you, but at least you managed to sail through. Goshen boys, Clement, I love the fact that you started by talking about abstinence, and I think that's what was the first thing that you brought in to the stage. However, avoid, and this also goes to Mary, avoid the questioning and waiting for answers. Do we agree? What if they say no? So you want to avoid that and just throw in rhetorical questions that don't have to wait for answers. Gavin, subtle but good. I think you understood what you were doing. You spoke in a subtle way and everybody understood what you said. You even commanded the attention. However, don't read too much. Okay? And for you, Haji, give a general terms of speaking about contraceptives can fail and give examples of such things because we've had such situations. Fair submissions though. So to the two teams, we believe here as the judges that you could have done better with more research, all right? Because listen, you're speaking to the nation, you're speaking to young people. What is there for you to tell them?
Gatimu Mixed Secondary, you are awarded 62%. Please give them a round of applause. Goshen Boys High School, the judges saw it fit to award you 66%. You are our winners for the debate.
Congratulations to Goshen, and thank you to the two teams on stage. That was a wonderful debate. I think the audience really liked it. Thank you to the in-studio audience for paying attention and for being very attentive and giving us good questions. And to you at home for watching as well. We'll see you next time. I have been your host, Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Yombok. Catch you next time.
The Great Debaters Contest is powered by Blaze, by Safaricom, the Youth Network.